All right, Shalom, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakah Quadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and Shalom and salute to the hopefully elect. This is part 2 of things will go back to the traditional ways. So I'm gonna start off with, I was going into how in ancient Israel how we ate, and I'm sure Solomon, he had chefs, and they wasn't eating this GMO crap. We got it, the local supermarkets. They had supermarkets or markets back then, but that was for like, in the inner city, like trade, but for the most part, the average Israelite had a farm or, land, I would say. And you know how Jake get down. Jake is the former of all things. We had livestock. You had your lambs, your cows, your average thing that a farm has. We just watched that video how that chef, the lady, she just went to the farm and grabbed the food, to prepare a meal or a dish. So let's start off with 1 Kings 4, and I'll start at 20. It says, "And Judah and Israel were many," and this around the time with King Solomon. It says Solomon's power, wealth, and wisdom, and we know that Solomon was Yahweh Shah. So it says, Judah and Israel were many as the sand which is by the sea, in multitude, eating and drinking and making merry. So we were doing good. We were eating good back when, Solomon, we were doing good. When I say good, I mean good. That was a pre show, or it was pre to the kingdom, on how the kingdom going to be, but the kingdom going to be greater. So it says, "And Solomon reigned over all kingdoms from the river unto the land of the Philistines and unto the border of Egypt." So he was doing his thing. It says, "They brought presents and served Solomon all the days of his life." All right, here we go, y'all. It says, "And Solomon's provision for one day was 30 measures of fine flour." See, you know what you could do with flour? You need flour for just about every meal that you eat. I don't care what dish it is. So this what he was getting a day, for the household. It says, "And 80 measures of meal." Let's look up that word meal, what they mean by that. It says, okay, flour, meal flour. All right. Meaning grind. All right, so I guess another type of flour. Okay, so listen to this. It says 10 fat oxen. So he had oxen, like a bison. That's some good meat right there. See, yeah, cattle, herd, oxen, a cattle, a cow, cattle. So you get what you can get from a ox. You got steak, oxtails. You Benjamites, you like oxtails. You can get hamburger. And back then, Jake, they was eating all types of different type of dishes that we probably not even heard of to this day. I mean, in these day and times, it's ain't nothing new under the sun. So they had all types of meals and ways they would prepare the food. Solomon had chefs, like we just saw, on that video. So it says, "And 20 oxen out of the pasture." Listen to this. and 100 sheep. What can you get out of sheep? More meat. That's a different type. More meat. Sheep. It says beside hearts and roebucks. I believe. Let's look that up. I believe that's like chicken, if I'm not mistaken. Hearts. Oh, okay. So a deer. All right. So it's a deer, a type of deer. So that's more meat. Roebucks. That's a. We all know what a roebuck is. Yeah. So a gazelle. All right. So that's another type of meat. Deer. All that's lawful meat right there. A fallow deer. That's another type of meat. And a fowl. So that's a bird. Okay. So fattened. All right. So that's like a turkey. So that's more meat. You people talking about, well, now these days it's not good to eat a lot of meat because this meat is defiled. But back then, that was real food, you know. So, hey, that's a lot of meat right there within for his household. So it says, verse 22, and Solomon's provision for one day was 30 measures of fine flour, which you can get out of flour, all type of bread and cakes. Oh man, you just could imagine what type of cakes, and you can even get candy out of flour. You can make candy bars, and come on now. Solomon probably had all type of delicious cookies. You get cookies from cakes. Come on now. It says, and 80 measures of meal. All right. It says, and Solomon, okay, we was at fine flour, 80 measures of meal. It says 10 fat oxen. So that's a lot of meat. 20 oxen out of his pasture, and 100 sheep, besides harts, deer, and roebucks, and fallow deer, and fattened fowl. So we know that is like a bird or turkey, chicken, a bird. So that's a lot of food right there, you know. So it says, for he had dominion over all the region on this side of the river from the Tifsah even to the Azar, over all the kings on this side of the river, and he had peace on all sides around about him. So it says, and Judah and Israel dwell safely, every man under his vine and under his fig tree, from Dan even to Bathsheba, all the days of Solomon. So Solomon, man, not only Solomon, but Israel was doing good. We were eating good, drinking good, and making love good, Yeah, so that's basically was my point, to show you how good we were eating and doing and eating in Israel, and all that's coming back. Only then we're gonna have servants, just like we had back then. But we're gonna have the nations in captivity, so they're gonna serve us. They're gonna serve us, at our feet, hand and feet, So yeah, that was the point of this. We're all that tradition is coming back. Israel, we're gonna be eating good, the farms and all that. Like how we living now, that's not really living. We're not really living. Having to go to the supermarket, having to just get everything from Esau. From our food to what that's in Deuteronomy, it's the 28th chapter, verse 48. Matter of fact, let's go to it while we're here. And then I'm shut it down. 28 and 48. Yep, 28 and 48. So it says, therefore shall thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. And as a nation, we are destroyed, but the Lord slowly bringing that elect, the members of the elect back, and Lord willing, we strive to be of that number. You just have to be chosen, but we're serving the Lord to the best of our abilities, while we can. And so we got to go to this man for everything right now. But my point is, that's how you really live. That's how, you go to get your own. Now, in ancient Israel, even though these Jakes, they had their own, as we just read, they were living good. They had their own land. Their plot of East Israelite had their own land, their own farm. Trust and believe, it was still markets, because it was like one thing that they didn't have that a neighbor might have, or they might go to. It was always market. Everything is nothing new under the sun. So if an Israelite had a whole bunch of abundance of something that he can handle, he would probably set up a market and trade. That's how you get trade and import and export trade. So if I had a farm and I wanted some garlic or something, I would go down to the market and get it, or trade with a fellow Israelite. Trade some of my oranges for that's money. That's resources is money. I might have a apple tree or orange tree. I might say, hey, I'll take these 20 apples, or take these 100 apples, and I'll trade you that for a box of garlic or something like that. It went like that. But that was my point. Lord willing, this was edifying. Giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahweh Shah, B'Hashem, Rakah Kwadash. Till again, Shalom.